Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Regson and this is the real deal. So today we will be talking about things that we need to consider in purchasing a property or especially a house and lot. So what are the things that we need to consider when we decide to buy our property? And again, we will be talking about house and lot. So what are the things that are very important to consider? So we will be talking about size, the type, location, the budget, and price. So these five things we will be talking about this morning. All right. So that's what we are going to discuss. And before I end this video, I will be giving you very important tips on what you need to consider. Ano ba talaga yung pinaka-importante na gawin, right? So I will be giving you that tip before this video will end. So yes, ano ba ang pinaka-importante bagay na kailangan natin i-consider when we decide to buy property? Okay, so let's talk about the number one important, size. So size is very important. You need to know kung gaano kalaki yung property na gusto mong bilhin in terms of square meters for the lot. How many square meters do you like? And also for the size of your house, how many square meters? And again, after that, then you need to consider how many bedrooms. So ilang rooms ba ang gusto mo for your house? You want to have a master's bedroom, you have a guest room, or your how many children you have, you need to consider. So the number of bedrooms in a particular house needs to be considered. And then after that, so you need also to consider the toilet and bath. So how many toilet and bath do you want for your house? Okay, kasi importante yon, especially if we have visitors or there are people who they always have visitors like almost every day, right? And having only one toilet and bath is very inconvenient, not only for you but also for your guests. So toilet and bath needs to be considered kung ilan ba talaga yung toilet and bath gusto nyo. So it could be two or more, right? So one at the ground floor and one toilet and bath on the second floor. And also we need to consider how many car garage do you like for your house or your property. So depende yun kung ilang sasakyan ang gusto mo, right? So because you're working so hard and you've been planning to compensate yourself, so maybe you have a desire to buy like one, two, three cars. So depending on how you see in the future, kung ilang cars yung gusto mong bilhin. So that's very important. Again, for the size, how many square meters, and then how many bedrooms, how many toilet and bath, and how many cars will your garage be able to accommodate. Okay, so next would be the type. So the type of first that you need to consider in terms of the type is if you want a bungalow type or a one-story house. So that's a bungalow, right? So or one story, and then second would be two-story. So most of the time, in the old times, it's easy to purchase a property that is a one-story or bungalow, right? Because there's so many available lots. Right now, we're already running out of land, especially in the city. So most of the time, city area, we can only avail two-story or townhouses. So what is a bungalow type? I will be showing you a picture. This one, right? So this is a bungalow type. Okay, if you can see this. Okay, so one-story house, and that's, and then another one is this. This is a two-story house. Okay, so these are the two types of houses that we have here in the Philippines. 2-story or 1-story. And unlike in other countries like Canada or US, they have basements, right? Most of their houses they have basement, but here in the Philippines, seldom you can find basement. And so next for the type would be what kind of house do you want? So is it a 2-story again like this? This is a 2-story house, and this is a single detached. So when we say single detached, it's only one unit without attached unit together. Okay, so single unit, one solo unit built within the property or within the land area. So that's single detached. Another type is duplex. So I will show you an example of duplex house like this one. You see this? Right, so this one, the sari, the one that it says sari, that's a duplex house. Or another example of a bigger house unit, this one, it's a duplex unit. So there's 2 units beside each other. Okay, so that's duplex. And the last type of house is a townhouse. So this one, right? So townhouse or a row house. And I can show you another type of townhouse here. So this one, this townhouse looks very elegant. It's an American style house. All right. So that is a townhouse. So 3 types to consider for your house and lot. So is it single detached, and then second is duplex, and then townhouse, row house, or others call it an apartment. So those are the things that you need to consider for the type. So we already have the size, and then next you need to identify the type of house you want to consider. All right. So again, single detached, and others they also have single attached, and then duplex, and then the townhouse. So next that you need to consider is the location. So where do you want to stay or live or spend your years retiring, or it could be spending your lifetime, right? A real estate investment is a lifetime investment, and it's a very one of the best investment option after you work so hard abroad or here in the Philippines and you already have the funds. So one of the best investment option is really to invest in a real estate property. Okay, so location. Why location is very important. You need to identify where do you want to live. Is it within the city, like town or province? So those are things that you need to consider. But I would like you to remember to note that if you choose in the city area is very expensive, and if you choose in the town area, it will be a lot cheaper. And if you go to the province area, it will be a lot or much cheaper compared to the town or the city area. All right. And also you need to consider where do you want to your house to be built in. Is it um, is it in a lowland area, or you want it in the mountain area or overlooking, right? So many people they also like to live in an overlooking area. They can see the silver lining, wow, or the shoreline, right? The horizon. They can see it on top of the mountain, and they can see they will have a very good morning view, right? The sunrise in the east, and they can see the sunset in the west. So that is also very. Imagine you have a very good morning, a sunrise, drinking coffee, and in the afternoon you can see the sunsets as well. Okay, and again another thing that you location is very important. Why? Because it is said it is better to buy the worst property in the best neighborhood. So it is better to buy the worst property in the best neighborhood than to buy the best property in the worst neighborhood. Yes, it is true, right? So because if you're going to, sometimes people need to, people tend to think, oh, I want this. This is the best property. Yes, this is very nice, but you need to consider your neighbors, right? If you're living in the best property but with the worst neighborhood, that's a bit scary, and also it's not so convenient in the future, right? You need to consider um, 5, 10 years from now what will happen in this place, right? Is your children still safe to travel, especially during nighttime, right? So that is something also need to be futuristic. You need to look 5, 10 years what will happen in this area. However, if you choose the worst property in the best neighborhood, so yes, you might think, oh, this is the worst property, but look at the neighborhood. They're one of the elites, or they're very good, right? You can find security in your neighbors. Then you can buy the property and you can renovate. You can um, build a very good house. You can do landscaping and make it a very livable area. So when you buy, it could be the worst property, but you can do something about it. You can build a very good house, a very nice house, and beautify the place. And after that, you know that your neighbors are good people. All right, and done to buy those best property, but the neighborhood are worst. So there's nothing you can do about your neighbors. Okay, so and then next that you need to consider is the budget. How much do you want? Are you willing to spend? Are you going to pay it in cash, or you want to? You're considering to have it loaned through Pag-ibig or through bank loan. So that's, and how much are you capable of paying, like monthly fees during your if you loan it through bank or Pag-ibig, how much is your monthly um, allotted budget for that house? So you need to consider, we don't want to have future problems that you won't be able to cover the monthly dues. Okay, so budget is very important, and also the price. So price of the house. What do you think for the house that you like 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms? What do you think is the price for that house? How much? So you can check within the city, within the town, or in the province. So which ones has the best option for you? So how much is the price that you think you're capable of buying? Okay, so that is very important. So also you need to consider. It says that cost versus price. What does it mean? Cost, or price, or cost versus price versus cost, right? So people think that they will be able to save in buying an affordable house, but they are located in a very remote area. Like there's no access to public utility vehicle, or you need to ride the habal thing, right? So imagine your children traveling every day riding habal, and the fare is very expensive, like 30 pesos, 20 pesos one way, and then plus um, back and forth. So that's, imagine 40, 60 for each person. And so if you calculate, yes, your house might be uh, affordable, but the cost of living in that area is very expensive, right? Imagine living there for 50 years and you're spending fare. For now it's 30, but we know that fare also increases, right? So for now it would be 20 to 30 pesos, but 5 years, 10 years from now it could be like 50 pesos already for one way. Okay, so that's something that you need to consider. Is it accessible? Accessibility is very important as well. So it would be best that you consider a property with a house that is not so cheap, not so expensive, in the middle, and also located in a very good area. Okay, right? So that's it. Those are the things that you need to consider. Again, you need to consider the size, the type of house you like, the location, the budget that you can afford every month, like for the monthly dues or for the equity. And then the last thing is the price. So how much it has to be, it should match like for the years of living in that area, right? So not just the price, you need to also calculate how much will be the cost of living in that area. Okay, so those are the things that you need to consider. And now I would like to give you the tip. One of the very important thing you need to consider is positioning. Again, it boils down to location. So you need to position yourself. Try to find a place in the area where there will be future development, right? So you may not don't consider the city; it's already highly developed and it's already very expensive. But you need to find what is the next possible place or area that there will be future developments, and then you need to position yourself because in that place you know that the price of houses and lot are, are a bit affordable. It could be half the price, or like you can save 25% compared to the properties in the city. So you need to ask as well. So what are the future developments in this area? Then you can grab the opportunity already. Like here in Cebu, like Cebu City and Karkar. Karkar is already very far, like about 3 hours travel. But yes, and people say, oh, that's too far from the city. But there's big development going on or coming developments going there. That's why developers are now moving in that place. They're starting to develop projects there, and buyers, they don't know, right? Because they are not really into knowing what are the future developments. They just want to buy. Oh, I want to live near the city. We have, but the price is very expensive. But if you go there and you will buy in that area, we know that those are very high potential project that you can also choose to purchase, because once the development will be in the area, then the price of your property will also double. So that's very important. Okay, so always ask your salesperson or agent what are the future developments in the area. Yes, hospitals. Yes, because also things that affects the price are hospitals, schools, market, mall, and so many other things. So those are the most important things that you need to consider in buying a house. Okay, so thank you very much for watching my video. If you have some questions, please drop your comments below, and also please hit like and also subscribe to my channel, and also click on the bell button so you will be notified in my future videos. I will be making videos that will surely help buyers, especially the OFWs, because they are the ones who don't have really access to real estate professionals in the country. And also I know that you're busy, so I'm making these videos so you will be able to have ideas on what are the things that you need to consider. Okay, so thank you and mabuhay.